Srimad Bhagwad Gita, chapter 3, Sloka 34. Siddhant, we will do the chanting. Indriyasyen,
इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे
Indriyasyarthe, Ragadvesho,
रागद्वेषो
Vyavasthitau,
व्यवस्थितौ
Tayorna,
तयोर्न
Vashamagacche,
वशमागच्छे
Tauhasya,
तौ हस्य
Paripantinau.
परिपन्थिनौ
Shloka 35. Shreyan Swadharmo
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो
Vigunaha
विगुणः
Paradharmat
वरधर्मात्
Swanushthitat
स्वनुष्ठितात्
Swadharme
स्वधर्मे
Nidhanam Shreya
निधनं श्रेय
Paradharmo
परधर्मो
Bhayavaha.
भयावह.
Thank you. Now we will do the meaning part. Shloka 34. Indriyasye of the senses. Indriyasyarthe in the sense objects. Raga attachment. Devashu aversion. Vyavasthitau situated. Tayo of them. Na never. Vasham be control. Agachate should become. Tau those. He certainly. Asya for him. Paripantinau force. Here Sri Krishna ji has said, the senses naturally experience liking and dislikings to the sense objects, but one not get controlled by them, for they are our enemies on the right path. So we should have control over our desires and not the desire should have control on us. Basically, Sri Krishna ji is saying we need to control our desires. Desire should not control us. You know, for example, like by seeing a sweet which is your favorite sweet, you should not become restless. You know, it like obviously when if the it is a favorite sweet, a person cannot resist himself or herself. So, what happens? Why the person is not able to resist? The desire, the senses. The sense object is attracting the senses, and the desire to eat is being carried. That desire is carrying away that person. So, Sri Krishna ji is saying that your desires are your enemies for not being on the right path. Okay, so basically, desires make a person deviate from being on the path of divine consciousness, being on the path of spirituality. So, one has to have control over the desires and the senses. Sense objects will be there. We cannot control the objects around us. They will be there. What can one control? One can control the senses. So, when the person controls the senses, the desires are also being controlled, and one can be on the path of divine consciousness or spirituality or on the right path. So, sweets is a very small desire. So, this desire can be very big, which lead a person to be in a wrong path. You know, like so few have very dangerous desires. Like I want to have, we can say anything, which is beyond the reach. So to get that, to fulfill that desire, a person will go in the wrong path, do wrong things. That is very dangerous, you know. Then that desire become the enemy of that person by making that person do wrong things. So basically, the even Sri Krishna ji says that first the desires will be small, gradually it becomes very big. So we need to control it when it is small. We should not let it go very big, which is harmful for us itself. So that is why we need to have controlled desires and satisfied with what we have. That is very important. So here I have given a small example of the sweets, but basically it is Shri Krishna ji is trying to say about those persons whose desires are endless, and those desires are very dangerous, which make a person do wrong things, be on the wrong path, and deviate from being on the correct path. So here Sri Krishna ji is saying that the desire, the senses are the greatest enemies for not being on the right path. So this is what Sri Krishna ji is saying. So basically he will try to tell us in many different ways. In almost all the shlokas, we will see one, at least one shloka to control the desires, to control the senses, to control the anger, all those things. Okay, Usha Baji, please explain.
Here, Sri Krishna is saying that one should control the desires. The desires should not be led by, controlled by us, but we should control the desires. Like an example of theft, if one thief is saying that, oh, here the 100 rupees is there, I will take once while what happened, nothing will happen. Then he will take out that 100 rupees. But again, he will think of taking more and more money from, like that he become the on wrong path. So the Krishna is saying that you should always control your desires, always control your senses to being a right path, to being in the divine or spiritual path, to make us moksha. So he's saying that you should not be controlled by desire. Desire should, we should control our desires.
Thank you so much, Ritu Babi.
Yes, dear. In this shloka, Krishnaji says that desires are the most important barriers in a person's happiness. So we should always control our desires and should not be controlled by our desires. They'll all start with small, small desires, and gradually they will become so large that we feel we will not be happy if we don't have that, which is not possible. So, right in the beginning, we should cut down our desires and try not to be controlled by them.
Thank you, Siddhant.
Yes, ma'am. So here, Lord Shri Krishna is saying that our senses are our greatest enemy, and that we should learn to control our desires. So initially, when someone has desires, it starts off very small, but the more and more desires he fulfills, or he or she fulfills, the more thrill they'll get out of it, and the more they'll want to do something bigger and better. So we should learn to control that desire, as if we don't control it, then it will lead us to a wrong path. And that if we learn to control it, then we'll be on the path to moksha.
Thank you. Now, Shloka 35. Shreyan, better. Swadharma, personal duty. Vigunaha, imperfect. Paradharma, then another's prescribed duties. Sunashista, perfectly done. Swadharme, in one's personal duties. Nidhanam, death. Shreya, better. Paradharma, duties prescribed for others. Bhavya, avya, cause of fear and danger. Now Shri Krishna ji saying, following one's own nature and swadharma, even if imperfect, is still better than following another's nature that may be perfect. Even dying in one's own pursuit of swadharma is better than to follow someone else's nature, as this leads to danger. So the prefix swa means the self. Swadharma, that is one own self. So Swadharma is our personal dharma, our personal primary duty, or the duties or the responsibilities, which is applicable to context, situation, maturity, and profession in life. This Swadharma can change as our context in life changes. You know, Swadharma, it's very obvious. It keeps changing at every age. Swadharma is very different at every age, at every level. As we grow, our Swadharma change. As time passes, also the Swadharma change. So Sri Krishna ji is asking Arjun, He is telling Arjun to follow his profession. Because Bhagavad Gita started with that Arjun is saying, I don't want to wage the war. So Arjun's Swadharma is to wage the war, to fight, even if he likes or he doesn't like. He is a warrior, he was a great warrior. So he has to wage the war. So Sri Krishna ji is saying, even though your Swadharma is imperfect, you have to do. It is your nature. Arjun was born with the nature that he is a great warrior. So he have to do it. It is his Swadharma, it is his nature. Even though he doesn't like. So this is what Sri Krishna ji is saying, that even though one doesn't like his own primary duty or own swadharma and feel that it is imperfect, once few people will think, right, what I am doing is not correct, it is imperfect, what others are doing is correct. So that is not correct. Even though one feel that it is imperfect, you have to do it, because you are born with that nature, it is your swadharma. So better to do the duty and don't do what others are doing, which will be very dangerous for the oneself. So one more thing we learn, that we should be happy with what is our swadharma. Better not to peep on others like what is their swadharma and they are enjoying. It is not the case. The other side of the green grass is always green. Once you step on that field, you will understand what are the no plus and minus over there. So not to compare oneself with others, be happy with what life you have. It is because we cannot do anything. Even though if you don't like what you have, do you have any other choice to do something? We don't have. We are helpless. We have to live the life what we have got. We have to do our primary duty, even though we like or we don't like. We have to do our swadharma, our dharma. So this is what Sri Krishna ji is also saying, that it is better to do your primary duty, your swadharma, even if it is imperfect. Imperfect will be according to the humans. Humans only judge what is good, what is not. And it is dangerous. Sri Krishna ji is saying it is dangerous that if you follow someone else's swadharma, because it is not for you. Now, if I go and sit in the clinic and I say I'm a doctor and I treat someone, it is so dangerous. I'll be playing with someone's life. So, I am my swadharma is I am a teacher, I need to teach. Even though I like or I don't like, there is no choice. I have to teach. I am a teacher. That is what Sri Krishna ji is saying. Always follow your swadharma, the nature you are born with, and be happy. It's very important to be happy, to be satisfied, and to do whatever you enjoy, not to peep on anyone's life, even in your family also. You cannot do anything. Even if you feel like, I want to go out, I should also go out and do some work. Suppose I take my example. If you, even I feel ki I should also go like my husband, go out, work and come back home. It's not possible. I am not born with that nature. I cannot go. I am born with the nature to be at home, to take care. I am a teacher, I teach. So I need to be happy, I need to be content. That is the best thing which I can do for myself. So it's very important to be happy, to be satisfied and not to peep. It's really no troublesome. You are the person who doing that is troubling to his or her own self. No one else is getting trouble. They all are happy in their life. If we start comparing ourselves, then we are troubling ourselves. We will be always no tensed, worried, thinking something else, and we will forget to live our life, to live the present, what we have the life. Okay, now Siddhant, please explain.
Yes, ma'am. So here Lord Shri Krishna is saying that even though one might believe that their duty, their primary duty, is imperfect or wrong, that like judgment is actually wrong itself, as even though it might seem wrong, it's doing something for the greater good. And also he's saying, yeah, so he's technically saying that um, that we should be happy with what we've got, and also that um, like even though our primary duty might look wrong at first, um, then it actually isn't in a point of view of everyone, and also that we shouldn't invade on others, and that we shouldn't uh, go in a new field where we have no experience in. So yeah.
Good. Thank you, Usha Buaji.
Here, Lord Krishna is saying us to do our swadharma, should look ourselves duties, what our duties is there. We should not peep on others swadharma. We should always look on our swadharma, what is our duties. I can't be a teacher like you because your duty is to teach us, but my duty is to take learn from you yourself, but I can't teach, so I won't be teacher. So it is an example actually. But Sri Krishna is saying, so do our primary duties, don't compare to others, and live happily while doing sadharma.
Thank you, Buaji. Ritu Bhavi.
So earlier, Krishnaji has said that everybody is born with a particular nature. According to that, primary duties are given to everyone. So now he's saying, whatever is your primary duty, you be content with that, and it is better to do that instead of jumping into somebody else's duty, which is according to his or her nature. So he's saying to us, be content with what you have and do your own primary duties.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much.